Some of the most tedious work in log cabin building is peeling the logs. There's a lot of logs to peel. As a reminder, these logs came out of the woods just this past March and were stacked right here waiting to be peeled.
I hope it doesn't hit me.
These are beetle-killed logs that, when they were cut, were very dry. But they were left out in the rain to soak up all the moisture. So now Lori and Mark can much more easily peel them. You can see how the bark falls right off as Lori's peeling it. If you were to peel them as soon as you brought them in, it would not have been nearly this easy. And of course, if you cut green logs down in the spring, they'll peel just as easily as this, usually. But dry logs with their bark on are much harder to peel. Some logs with a lot of sap soaked into their bark do not dry out, as you can see. Extreme amount of work compared to the ones where the bark just falls off. So this perfectly good log otherwise is going to be firewood. When they do soak up the moisture, however, they get heavy. Some logs are probably well over 100 pounds. But most of them are very easy to handle by one person. So Mark and Lori basically can handle all this stuff themselves. When you build vertical logs, you don't have to worry so much about the moisture in the logs because after you have them up, they're going to dry out. And as opposed to horizontal log construction, they're not going to shrink and you're not going to have to worry about settling nearly as much. You have very little settling with vertical log construction, and each log will shrink a slight bit compared to the one next to it, but it's not a cumulative shrinkage like you have in horizontal log construction. There's a lot of things to be said for building with vertical logs. Lori actually enjoys getting out and peeling logs with Mark. They're almost finished with the logs that they need for the cabin. They're going to let them dry a little bit, and then after they got all the logs done, start getting ready to build a foundation to put these logs on. Nice thing about building with logs is you have your exterior siding, your interior finished walls, and everything in between. Your insulation, your main structure, main framing, it's all there in one log. And building with vertical logs, you don't need a lot of equipment. You can pretty much do it all by hand.